Alright, welcome back everybody. It's been a bit since we got in a review up last. I'm flying solo on this one. Life's been a little hectic. We just had a baby at the end of March. Time's gotten away from us, plus, work's been busy, so this is really the first time I've been able to sit down and do something. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's relaxed and feeling good. Anywho, I'll just jump straight into this one. Just watched the first 3 episodes of Moon Knight. Overall, I would have to say I'm liking it. It's one of the better Marvel series. What I'm really loving about the show is Oscar Isaac's performance as Moon Knight. That's something I really, really enjoy. The personality of Stephen Grant isn't that bad. It's definitely not comic accurate in any way, shape, or form. I enjoy it for the purpose of the show and the context of the story they're telling. But yeah, Mark is kind of Mark, but Mark almost kind of seems like more of a prick and a jerk than he normally does. And as I said, Steven is Steven in name only. He's a completely different personality. In the comics, the Stephen Grant personality is, the suave, rich playboy kind of personality. Where in the show, he's like this, this bumbling idiot with a British accent, right? So it's not actually. Well, sorry guys, I'm stumbling on my words here. What I'm trying to say is it's definitely a comic accurate, but it works well within the confines of the show, and as I said, the story they're trying to tell. Would I recommend anybody watching this? For sure. Is the show 100% comic book accurate? No. But is it good? Sure. Overall, I'm enjoying all the performances in the show so far. Layla, they've kind of taken, I think the biggest kind of stretch with. She's once again almost Layla in name only. They've gone against the comic book look of a blonde white woman and gone for completely more Middle Eastern kind of dark haired kind of actress and role, which I don't mind. Like, I don't care about the ethnicity of the character by any means. However, that being said, her accent is kind of hilarious because at times it seems like she's either speaking with a North American accent, an English accent, or like some faux Egyptian accent. The character is supposed to, I guess, be like Egyptian in some form or shape or form, but it's kind of like they almost didn't know what they wanted to do with the character, and they really should have like settled on what the accent should have been. Because her accent kind of seems like all over the place, kind of like how Benedict Cumberbatch's American accent was all over the place in the first Doctor Strange movie. And I think part of it too is because the actress who's playing the role is British, so it's a British actor putting on an American accent, who's also supposed to have like a slight hint occasionally of like an Egyptian accent in there. So you're kind of getting this muddled, weird sounding accent out of it. But overall, the show's been pretty good. The first episode was pretty much like just an introductory to the character and basically setting up the story. He meets Amit's like avatar, which is played by Ethan Hawke, who's set up as the main antagonist of the show. Basically, in the first episode, like they present you with the Stephen Grant personality up front, and they kind of seem like this is who this person is, and they get into the whole split personality thing later on, and then Moon Knight eventually comes into play. But episode 1's more like a setup. We spend a lot of time with Steven. We get a little bit of Moon Knight towards the end. Mark comes in every now and then as kind of like the split personality, talking to him by far. Khonshu is in there a bit in the first episode. Episode 2, we get into a little bit more Moon Knight, a little bit more of Mark asserting himself in the dominant role. Episode 3, we slide into Mark being in control more, Steven being the passenger personality, because Mark's the actual personality, the dominant personality. And I don't mind Steven within the context of the show, and it works fine. But going forward, I want to see Mark Spector. Like, this version of Stephen Grant is fine. It's great. As I said, it works for the story they're telling. But I don't want this Stephen in the driver's seat the majority of the time moving forward. I want Moon Knight. So with Moon Knight, I want Mark Spector. It is just what it is. And episode 3, they kind of set up that there's this other personality that when, Mark and Steven are blacking out and they don't know what's going on, which is, if you've read the comic, they're hinting at the Jake Lockley personality, which after they've made so many changes to the Stephen Grant personality, I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to what they're going to do with the Jake Lockley personality, because it almost feels like Mark in this is the Mark Spector personality is kind of like an amalgamation of the Mark and the Mark and Jake personalities from the comic, which is fine. But overall, I hope they do Jake Lockley more service than they did with Stephen Grant, and he's just not Jake Lockley in name only. Like, Jake Lockley is supposed to be this tough as nails, like Brooklyn attitude kind of guy, and I don't know if that's what we're gonna get with this. We'll see. That being said, only the first 3 episodes are out. It's not bad. I feel like we might have needed 8 episodes to tell the story they're trying to do. Or maybe after watching the next 3 episodes, I'll be like, you know what, there was way too much filler. There's enough storyline to fill up 4 episodes. And who knows, maybe I'll have a different perspective. But it feels like with the storyline they're trying to set up in the first 3 episodes, I don't think they're going to be... it's not going to feel fully rounded out within 6, but who knows, maybe I'll be wrong. And as I said, after I watch the next 3 episodes, maybe I'll be like, oh, wait a minute, this is only like a 4-episode storyline stretched into 6 episodes. And I love the Stephen Grant character, but I feel like we're spending too much time with him. Like, we really need to get the plot moving kind of thing. And I love character development, and I love, focusing on the small things in the story. But, I don't know, it just feels like we need to get moving on and get to the point of the story. Because... I don't know specifically what it is. Like, I'm really enjoying this. I love the Moon Knight comic. The character of Moon Knight is one of my favorite Marvel characters, and so I'm ecstatic to finally see something Moon Knight in live action. But that being said, I'm kind of like looking at it like, oh, you know what? I've been waiting years for something Moon Knight, and this is kind of what I'm getting. So I don't want to be look the gift horse in the mouth, bite the hand that feeds you. We finally got something live action Moon Knight. So I don't want to complain too much, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, well, you know what? I kind of was expecting a little bit more, or something a little bit more grandiose. But you gotta take what you get, right? And be happy with what you receive. So I'm trying. So if I don't want to go too head on in spoilers, but I'd say overall they're doing a decent job, and it's somewhat faithful to the comic, not 100% comic accurate, but it's pretty good. As I said, overall one of the better Marvel shows they put out there. I'm looking forward to the next 3 episodes. I'm really loving F. Murray Abraham as the voice of Khonshu, and as I said, I'm really loving Oscar Isaac in the role of Mark Spector / Moon Knight. His Steven personality is funny, but it's not something I want to see going forward full time. I want to see Mark in the driver's seat. I want to see Moon Knight. They also bring out the Mr. Knight personality, which I like, but I felt like for an introductory to Moon Knight, Mr. Knight really shouldn't have been a part of this. That's something they should have brought in later down the road. I feel like that was just trying to cram too much in too fast. Especially, it's Moon Knight, not Mr. Knight. Mr. Knight is just, another sub-personality that comes out. And I feel like we're just getting introduced to the character. The world's just getting to know the character. I waited this long for something Moon Knight related. I kind of just feel like, they should have just focused on Moon Knight and kept the Mr. Knight sub-personality out for the first go-around. And that's something you bring in later down the line. It's like doing a Hulk movie right off the bat and having Green Hulk and Grey Hulk in the same film. It's just a little convoluted, and it feels like you're just trying to cram in too much too fast. That being said, though, we've had many opportunities where we've been waiting for Grey Hulk to come now, and it hasn't. So I guess it's kind of like, well, you look at it that way, like everybody's wanting to see Grey Hulk and waiting for a Grey Hulk in the film series, and they haven't gotten it yet. So, you know, it could have been like, well, you like Mr. Knight, and it could be worse. It could be like the Grey Hulk situation where you never get it. So I kind of see both perspectives, but I feel like, you know, Moon Knight is something you should have been planned as a 2-season thing. You should have had, like, introduce people to the character Moon Knight up front, bring in Mr. Knight a little bit later. But it sounds like it's only going to be like a 1-season event series kind of thing, which I think is a mistake. So I felt you needed to build up the character and get the general audience, you know, a little bit more associated with him a little bit better and, you know, familiar with the character. But it sounds like, you know, he's going to do this, and he's potentially going to be in this unnamed Disney Plus Halloween special they're doing later this year. And then he's going to pop up in films from here on out. But we'll see. We'll see. As I said, overall, I like it. I recommend you checking it out. I hope everyone's having a good one and is healthy and safe. Once again, at the beginning of the video, I'm sorry it took me so long to get back in another review and get back in touch with you guys. As I said, my wife and I just had our first child at the end of March, and that's been a handful in itself. A lot of sleepless nights. A lot of running around trying to make the baby happy and take care of him. It's really time consuming, but you know, it's worth it. I love the little guy. I can't think of my life without him now, and he's only been here a few weeks, and you know, things are changing, but hopefully they're changing for the better. That being said, I'm planning on getting out more content again in a somewhat regular fashion. I've been trying to bang out between 4 and 7 videos a month. March kind of fell by the way. Well, not March. I mean, April kind of fell by the wayside. I think I did an okay job with March. Might be wrong. Might be remembering it wrong. But hopefully more videos out in May. Yeah. I'll catch you guys later. Do all the things that my brother would tell you to do, like, share, and subscribe, and all that jazz. And you know the thing 10,000 billion other YouTubers always tell you to do. Anywho, you know the drill. I appreciate you guys showing up. Appreciate you guys watching the video. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.